Good evening, everyone, Professor Sata and everybody else. This is extremely late in the semester. Actually, it's after the semester is over, the term. But I did want to get this in order to at least have some closure and completion in my my account. I apologize for the incredibly ugly glasses, but these are my readers, and I cannot see without them. So, without further ado, I I did my final research project on Roger Sherman, and I learned quite a bit about Roger Sherman through my research. Um, I'm from Connecticut originally, so therefore I had a natural um, interest in Roger Sherman. And some of the things that I found out. Okay, well, here's a list of here's a whole stack of articles and uh, papers on Roger Sherman. Several of them were quite good. For example, there was a paper. Well, it wasn't a paper; it was a conference. It was a paper in the sense it was written for a conference on religion. It was by Mark David Hall and Daniel L. Dreisbach, two of the historians that we studied in our class, and it talks about the how Roger Sherman's a forgotten founder. Now, unless you're from Connecticut like me, you may not even have heard of Roger Sherman. And so this research paper was intended to um, shed some light on Roger Sherman. And a lot of people don't realize, and I didn't even know this myself when I began the project, was that Sherman, probably alone in among the founders, actually helped draft and sign just about every major declaration or article that existed in the founding days. For example, he helped um, draft and sign the Articles of Association, the Declaration of Independence, the Articles of Confederation that predated the Constitution, and the Constitution itself in 1787. He was a very instrumental part of the Constitutional Convention in 1787 in Philadelphia. And he also is known for authoring a significant state law concerning religious liberty in Connecticut, as it were. And he also participated in debates about over the First Amendment, right to free speech. Okay, and just to give you an example of how little Roger Sherman is noted, he's done all these things, but the Supreme Court justices, when they're discussing First Amendment issues and interpreting the clauses of religion related to First Amendment, I said freedom of speech, but I meant for freedom of religion. When when talking about the religious clauses in the First Amendment, even though Sherman also, along with Jefferson, authored significant state law regarding religious liberty, when they were debating about particular issues and making decisions on these issues, they made references to Jefferson 112 times, but only mentioned Sherman 3 times. So, that 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 just goes to show you how little Sherman was actually um, mentioned. And Sherman had a lot of influence in Connecticut. He was, in addition to being what being involved in the involvement in the Articles of Confederation, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and some lesser known and items of lesser importance. He also spent a great deal of his time and energy in Connecticut in politics. He was the mayor of New Haven, one of the larger towns in Connecticut. He spent time as a state representative. He also was a member of Congress in the first and second Congresses in the United States. Actually, the first Congress, and then he was a senator in the second Congress, and he passed away in 1792. I believe it was 1792 that he passed away. It was the early 1790s that he passed away. So, and he's also been quite um, quite vocal about, like I mentioned earlier, about religious liberties and religious adherence. He is also known for getting into significant debates about religious matters. For example, in 1790, he had a noteworthy debate at with Samuel Hopkins, a well-known pastor. So those are some things that I learned. I'm running out of time. I've probably gone over my time. I've been not here too long, but I did learn quite a bit. I dealt with a lot of sources, and I truly enjoyed my research on Roger Sherman. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.